guys. Hey, welcome back to another edition of the kind of worship team devotional, revelation, and response. And man, every once in a while a new song comes out, and this actually isn't technically a new song. I don't know how I missed it, but apparently it came out like a year ago, and I'm just hearing it for the first time. But it's Joy in the Morning by Torrin Wells, and then they did a YouTube video that I attached kind of in this original email sending out with Elevation Worship, and just a phenomenal song and just a phenomenal concept. I feel like kind of my testimony in life with some of the struggles I went through in the last 5 years or so just go along with this whole theme of there's joy in the morning. Well, what scripture does that actually come from? It's Psalm 30, verses 4 and 5, and this is what the New Living Translation says. Sing to the Lord, all you godly ones, praise his holy name. Why? For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may last through the night, but joy comes with the morning. And so there's a couple of things to notice there. First of all, the Lord does get angry at times, but that only lasts for a moment. But it says his favor, his grace lasts for a lifetime. Weeping may last through the night. Guys, we live in a fallen world. Terrible things happen to us, to happen to other people. Weeping does happen, but it may last through the night, but there will be joy in the morning. Now, the lyrics of that song, I feel like they just capture it so well. Let me look them up here. So it says, everything happens for a reason, but you don't know what you don't know. Guys, when we get to heaven and we're looking back on just all of the confusing, terrible things that happen, I've heard it described like this. It'll be like, right now, it's like we're looking at the back of a tapestry. I don't know if you've ever looked at the back of a tapestry. It doesn't make sense. You can't really discern what's going on, but then you turn it around and all of a sudden you start to see all the patterns. You see the picture that's being made by the weaver or the person who's doing it. So honestly, I think you just, everything happens for a reason, but you don't know what you don't know. And then the next line, you'll never have peace unless you let go of tomorrow. That's why Jesus says, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow has enough, or today has enough trouble of its own. We have to trust that God knows what he's doing, have faith in him. And then the next line is, it ain't even faith till your plan falls apart, but you still choose to follow. That's when it becomes faith. That's just the opening lines of the song. Just a phenomenal song. I suggest listening through it. But I just want to share a couple more, or just one more verse or passage. This is from Lamentations. If you don't know what the book of Lamentations is about, it's a book of lament from the Department of Redundancy Department. But what's a lament? It's a mourning over something. What had happened is the Jews, or the Jewish nation, had basically disobeyed God for hundreds of years, and finally he brought about a different kingdom. I believe it was the kingdom, first Assyria and then Babylon, and they just kind of came in and just ransacked Jerusalem and took everybody off captive. And there was some people left there, but not very many, and it was like the poorest of the poor, and that was pretty much it. And the whole kingdom of Israel was kind of wiped out in a sense. And so as people are going, they're being taken to Babylon and dispersed around in these Babylonian colonies wherever they went. They were sad. Imagine that. Lamentations. They were lamenting. And so in that book, that's what you're getting. So a lot of Lamentations is very sad as you read through it. But listen to this, Lamentations 3:21 through 25. Even though they're in this terrible position, this is an attitude that we should have as followers of Christ. Even if we're in a terrible position, it says, "Yet I still dare to hope when I remember this. The faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is his faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh each morning. I say to myself, the Lord is my inheritance. Therefore, I will hope in him. The Lord is good to those who depend on him, to those who search for him." So no matter where you're at, whether you are in the midst of the trial and the terrible stuff that's going on, and you need to basically sing this song right now, prayers are with you. You can reach out to me if you want to, but I guarantee at some point you're going to need this. And so I'm just going to finish with a poem that was actually written by, her name is Annie Johnson Flint. And long story short, a bunch of crappy stuff happened in her life. And in the midst of all of it, so she actually got like a form of arthritis so bad that she couldn't move. She would basically just sit in a wheelchair with her hands all curled up, and she would still write with these hands that were like literally like she couldn't, not fun. But listen to what she wrote. From that place of desperation and just being crippled, basically, she wrote this. He giveth more grace when the burdens grow greater. He sendeth more strength when the labors increase. To added afflictions he addeth his mercy. To multiplied trials his multiplied peace. When we've exhausted our store of endurance, when our strength has failed ere the day is half done, when we reach the end of our hoarded resources, our Father's full giving has only begun. Fear not that thy need shall exceed his provision. Our God yearns his resources to share. Our God ever yearns his resources to share. Lean hard on the arm everlasting availing. The Father both thee and thy load will upbear. His love has no limits, his grace has no measure, his power no boundary known unto men. For out of his infinite riches in Jesus he giveth and giveth and giveth again. So I've experienced that in my life, and I hope that you can experience it in your life as well. See you later.